before we get into everybody's wonderful questions that I'm sure you all have, who were your role models going into this, and have you been able to meet any of them?
You mean for this movie?
No, just in
specific?
general. Who are your role models?
Oh, goodness.
As young actors?
Golly.
Well, I don't know that I'd call this person I'm going to name a role model necessarily, but it's certainly somebody I admired in all of his work, and that's James Earl Jones. Yeah. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that, right? And thank goodness he was out there as I was growing up as a kid. I remember seeing The Great White Hope and all these other wonderful films and things that he did. And I have gotten to meet him on a couple occasions. He's very shy and very quiet, but I just gushed anyway. I didn't let that stop me. So that's the person I would name.
All of mine are dead.
But they're still relevant.
Yes, still relevant. When I was going through school, when I was in, studying drama and theater and getting my degrees, they were the English actors who were very sort of chameleon-like, Ralph Richardson, to a certain extent, Laurence Olivier, so many, John Mills. I think of Hobson's Choice. You remember that movie? If you've never seen this, there's a movie called Hobson's Choice, which John Mills plays a very milquetoasty kind of shoemaker. And a wonderful English actor and actress named Brenda de Banzi. Do you remember who she is? Yeah. Oh, she's amazing. Anyway, she sort of empowers him. Charles Lawton is this sort of tyrannical owner of the shoe shop, and he's this little milquetoasty guy. And then John Mills plays what's the movie with? I'm going to drive you guys crazy with minutia. Anyway, those were the chameleons, the people who could do just about anything. Yeah, really.
Yeah, he played Gus the theater.
You can share it.
Oh, I'm sorry. We were having a private conversation. Sorry about that.
Ken and I have known each other for a while.
I was just saying that I did the Cats DVD filmed version. A lot of distinctions now with Sir John Mills.
Ah, cool.
And he was wonderful. And he came on set, and I said, "It's such a thrill to have you here and to be with you." He said, "It's a thrill to be anywhere right now." And he was like 90-something then, right?
Right. So those were kind of my role models then, but there are a lot of wonderful actors out there that we've all, I think, stolen. We've all stolen from. Yeah.
And so then getting back to this film, of course, were there any people that you modeled these characters after?
My story, I always have. There was a wonderful actress. Have you ever seen the film The Exorcist? Oh, this crowd. Yep, what? Come on.
What have we? Yeah, right.
Well, in The Exorcist, the voice work of the demon, of course, the on-screen actress was Linda Blair, but the voice work was done by a wonderful Academy Award-winning actress named Mercedes McCambridge. Yeah? And if you don't know who she is, look her up and educate yourself so you'll know. But to me, she is the ultimate voice work person. I think her work in that film was exemplary and really set the bar way up there. And for me, doing this, I had said to them, to Danny Elfman and our director, that she was sort of the thing I would pattern Oogie after, along with Bert Lahr from The Wizard of Oz. Go figure for a pair, right? But anyway, her work in the film was amazing, and that's what I based Oogie on, basically.
And I guess necessarily mine was Danny Elfman, because when I went into audition for the movie, they played a couple of the songs that Danny had already recorded, and so I had that voice in my head when I auditioned, and the voice sort of carried through when we did the movie.
Great. Wonderful. So let's go ahead and open it up to questions on the floor. We're going to have Sarah come around and take your questions. She's got a mic for you. So
and whoever's on the volume for the mic, can we get this a little bit more?
Yeah,
I feel
let's
like
do
it's
that.
I have to kind of eat the
Cool.
mic to
Thank you,
get her.
friends.
Thank you.
Thank you, young man.
And two things before we do get started. Please remember, please don't ask for hugs. They're sitting behind a table. It's a little bit difficult right now. Also, please, there it is. Hi, I can hear myself. Wow. They cannot legally do the voices of your characters, so please do not ask. Thank you, and go on. Go ahead and raise your hand if you got a question. Let's hear it.
Raise your hand.
Is there a mic?
I know you've got questions.
No
Whoop.
questions. Well, I guess we're going to be...
Oh, there we are. There we are. Let's start over here.
And good night.
Thank you, goodbye.
What would you say was the hardest part about making the movie?
What's your name, ma'am?
Shelby?
Thank you. Hardest part? Just sort of readapting to the voice actor part of acting, because you're not on a set, you're not on a stage, you're not working with other actors. Essentially, you're in a studio, and you're sitting there with the director. In this case, was Henry Selick, who, if you're not familiar with Henry's name, did Coraline and James and the Giant Peach, a stop action master. And we would be in the studio, basically just the two of us, and he'd be saying, okay, we'd have the script, obviously, and you'd be going over. When I did the movie, they would fly me up at the time I was living in Los Angeles, they would fly me up once every 3 months. And I would go in and we'd do like 2 or 3 scenes, and basically Henry would be sitting there and we'd go over and over and over and over the lines. And he would say, try it this way, now just do 3 of the lines just off the top of your head. And then from all of that, they pick a way of sort of putting them all together, and then they animate. So that was the experience for me, and the hardest part was just sort of readapting to that kind of way of working. And also, it's a very sort of a heightened reality. You're not working you're not working like this, and you're not working like, this close to somebody. You are in a bigger world and in a more fantastic world. So the voice has to sort of find a way to reach that pitch. So that's another way of, adapting that you have to sort of deal with when you go in.
I think for me it was and I mean this in the best possible way, the repetition. Because after I got past a certain point, it became fun. But for a minute, it was like, do it again? Because, you're like, okay, and you did it 5 times. They said, we did do it another time. I thought, am I going to be finished? But after a while, I began to really appreciate being able to play and do it all sorts of different ways. And I said, can I do it one more time? And they were like, okay, go ahead, But it became fun. I always like to think of it as like when you're a child and you play in your room alone, and you're playing with all of your little miniature toys and things, and you do all the voices and everything. I'm going to get you. No, I'm going to get you. I'm going to get you before you get me. I'm going to get you after you get me. Yeah. And that's what it's sort of like in a way. You really get to play. But the hard part of the playing was finding the different ways to animate it vocally, because you don't have the visual, to make hopefully what you're putting in your voice have some physical life to it on the other side when they animate. That's the hardest part for me was.
Right back there, yep. And tell us your name, please.
Hi, my name is Alyssa.
Hi, Alyssa.
So I know that you went over it in a little bit of detail, but did you actually get to see the characters before you did the voice acting?
Did you? Yeah, I saw a storyboard, but I didn't see the armature that they actually did the animation with. I saw a storyboard of Oogie's storyline through the movie, but I didn't see the armature. I think it's maybe halfway through or maybe near the end, and they took me down to show all these wonderful, amazing sets that they used, and there they had the real Oogie that they were going to use, which was like, there he is, It's like meeting somebody, how you doing? It was really cool.
And what would you say the height was of the armatures? It was like
Probably
so?
No, mine was
Bigger?
like about this big.
Well, yours was bigger than mine.
Yep. Hey,
I mean-
I ain't touching that.
No, never mind. I walked right into that, didn't I? And it was similar for me, except that I got to hear Danny's songs before, because they were looking for a voice that approximated Danny's voice as well. And I think I saw some of the animation before, because they'd already done Danny's scenes, a lot of them. They'd animated a lot of the songs. So I had that luxury, and then I got to go down about halfway through as well and see the sets, which were extraordinary, and watch these guys work in minutia. You know, they're working literally a frame at a
Right.
time.
I said it had to be either very zen or it had to drive them mad because it really was just minute.
Or
little
heavy
change.
duty drugs.
Heavy-duty drugs. Vote for the drugs.
We didn't witness any of that. Don't get us wrong.
Great. Yeah, we have some right down here. Right down here. Blue shirt. Oh, okay. We're going back there first.
Yeah,
Okay.
Keep your hand up so
Yep.
she can see you.
I'll be back.
She'll
be back for you.
Oh, that's a nice line.
Hi, my name is Jennifer.
Hi.
So, a lot of my friends have been having the debate, and I figured I'd come right to the source. Is it a Halloween or Christmas movie?
Surprise! Surprise!
Want to say it together?
Yeah. It's
Yes.
yes. Sorry. We gotta rehearse.
Rehearse it again.
All right, you ready again? Yes.
It really is. I mean, you know, it starts with Halloween, and I think the idea is Halloween. But I mean, when you really look at the film, it covers a lot of Christmas territory as well. So it's a Halloween movie and a Christmas movie.
And there's a little Easter thrown
I
in there,
know,
a
the
little
Easter Bunny.
Thanksgiving.
The turkey
Yeah,
shows up
turkey.
once, you know. I think the four-leaf clover of St. Patrick's.
Oh, that's
or
right.
something.
I forgot.
Yeah,
I
there's
haven't watched
everybody's
it in a long
in there.
time. Yeah.
Just in case. Cover all the holidays.
Great, let's go to the blue shirt right here.
So, two questions. First, did
name?
you guys, Greg, sorry, did you guys sing the songs yourselves, or did someone else sing for you?
Oh, there you are.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Who's talking?
Pay no
I
attention to the man
mentioned
behind the
that
curtain.
Danny Elfman had already recorded all the songs, so I sang none of Jack's songs. I just did the transitions and all of Jack's speaking lines.
I think I was originally brought there to sing. It was through a lawyer, of course, isn't everything, but it was Danny Elfman and I share a lawyer, Mark Sindrov, who they had said they were looking for a specific type of voice, sort of Cab Calloway-esque, Fats Waller-esque, yamma-na-na-na-na-na, you know? And he said to Danny, I think I have the person that's that person. So when I came, I think I was really there to sing the song, because we did the song first and everything. And then they asked me, as I said, what would you think the voice of Oogie would be as a character? And I said, well, sort of Mercedes McCambridge from The Exorcist and Bert Lahr from The Wizard of Oz. And they said, well, what does that sound like? Tricky, audition, you know. I said, well, Bert Lahr is sort of, oh, I do believe in ghosts. I do believe in ghosts. I said, oh, yeah, okay. And the demon from The Exorcist was, what a lovely day for an exorcism. I think that might have gotten me the job. I'm not sure. Right. But putting the two together, and I said, whatever I do, if I go too far in either direction, let me know, whatever. And I forgot the question completely. What was it?
Did you actually sing your role?
Did I sing?
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Singing, that's what you were talking about.
I'd like to introduce Ken Page. I don't know if you guys have met him, but
I just said to Chris,
old
I said,
friend of mine.
I think I'm in a little bit of a daze today. I don't know what's
Both are,
happening.
yeah.
It's nice, the daze. But at any rate, yes, I did sing. Most of my work up till then had been in theater in New York on Broadway, and I'd done some shows that let them know that I was probably able to do that. So there you go.
And then the second question is, what are your fondest memories from doing this movie?
mine is the first time I saw a rough assemblage of the movie in black and white. I was sitting and at the time I was renting a house in Los Angeles because I was working there, and they had asked if I wanted to do anything over again because Tim Burton was going to come in, and there was some stuff that he wanted to sort of work over. And so they sent me the tape, and I was going to take some notes about, and it was like on a VHS, black and white with a little time thing going across the bottom. I mean, not at all the movie that you guys know. And I was spellbound. And I'm sitting there and I'm watching it, and suddenly I had 3 small children, relatively young, and they all kind of drifted into the room, and they all were like this. And that was thrilling, knowing that it was such an extraordinary experience, even at that point, before it became the final version.
For me, I think it was going to the I think it was the premiere, or at least it was part of the premiere, at Lincoln Center. Yeah, they had it as part of, I think, the film series, something, whatever. But it was a big deal, and it was all fancy and everything. But I had never seen the film at that point. I had no idea. I went in, as Chris said, we recorded. I didn't know what they picked, what they made choices with or of. And I sat down in the seat and thought, this is really, I hate to say because it sounds boastful, but it's a masterpiece, And that's when I really thought, boy, are you lucky. You're in this, and this is really something that's going to be around a long time, But it was amazing to sit there and watch the work that they did, with the work that we had done.
Yeah, we didn't really get a chance to experience what they went through.
My goodness.
I mean, literally 11 seconds a week of usable film, literally shot frame by frame to put scenes together. It was extraordinary.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Great question. All right, let's head on over to this side. We got some purple going on. Let's go to purple first.
That girl over there. Yeah, she's got the head.
Hello, my name's Megan, and
Stand up, Megan.
okay, my name's Megan,
Thank you.
and if there was anything you could go back and do over, would you do it, and what would it be?
The whole thing. I think every actor feels that way. When you see your work, you suddenly go, oh, God, why didn't I? Oh, if I only, why did, you're always second guessing yourself because film is, once it's done, it's over. It's not like you're doing a play on tour and you can figure it out along the way. You make a decision, or a number of decisions, as the case may be, and then somebody else takes over. And that's it. I mean, I did have the opportunity to go back in with Tim Burton and redo some stuff, so I had a chance to kind of redo some stuff. But I don't know.
I don't know that there's anything I would do over, mostly because we've gotten the chance to do so much more work with the film, with the games, the video games, and voicings for the park and so forth. I think just about anything I thought I would have done, I've gotten to do at this point. And there are things, because when I first started doing some of the extra things, I thought, now I can blah, 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 like I didn't get to do in the movie or whatever. So I've had a lot of opportunity to do the things that I thought I would do over.
And you get to do concerts as well, which is great.
We
gets to tour concerts.
We sing the live score while they show the film, and then we come out and we sing our own songs with the symphony orchestras. If anybody's going to the UK, we're going to be in Glasgow and London and Dublin next week after next, So same thing we've done at the Hollywood Bowl. We come out and we sing and we bow and we go off and we come back. But it's really fun because you get to it's somewhere between live and not live, which is fun.
They haven't invited me to come and speak.
They had the wrong address.
Oh. That's the problem.
That's it. They should have you come and speak.
Great. Let's keep moving through this direction. Got a white shirt here, and then we'll move our way backwards.
Should you pass the mic down? No.
Sure.
Hi, I'm Annabelle.
Hi.
Annabelle. Uh-oh.
Do you guys prefer voice acting or like on-screen acting, and why?
Or stage, since you've done those too.
That as well.
I don't really have, probably theater. Ken and I both come from the theater, and we've worked theater. Yes, as a matter of fact. We both work Broadway. We've worked off Broadway. We've done regional theater. I can speak for you, can I? And there's something about that experience it's actually in a way similar to this, because we get to deal with, really experience the audience. Where in movies and voiceover work, you don't have that connection. And that's important.
Well, it's the people thing. I think they just had something I read on Facebook that people actually feel better after they've been to the live theater. It actually affects them in some sort of psychological way or something. Well, it's simple people energy. If I sit in a room with any one of you and we talk, we change each other in some way. So I think with the theater, point of purpose is to influence you and to make you feel something, make you laugh, make you cry, make you dance, make you sigh. But that is what the theater's about, and that to me is like the ultimate. Everything else is in service of.
Yeah.
You know, but the theater is a thing that really happens between the audience and the.
And it's different every night.
Every night.
Every night.
Every night.
Because you're different. The audience is.
Hi, my name's Ayla. I have 2 questions. First, what's your favorite song from the movie?
Duh.
Don't be ridiculous.
Mine's Oogie's song.
Well,
All right,
actually,
now you're
I
just
like
pandering
Sally's.
to each other.
Oh, and actually, yeah, that's right. That Sally song is very beautiful.
It is. Well, so many of the songs are so lovely and really beautiful. I mean, I'm going to say I like Oogie's song, not because I sing it, because it's a great song. I mean, it really captures something from the past and brings it into the, you know, from the 40s, Harlem-esque, blah, blah, blah. So it's a great song all by itself. But there's so many other wonderful songs that you get enchanted with in the score. I do. You know, and then they're my favorite, those little Dracula guys. I always talk about that move around in a group sort of together and sing, you know, off key or sort of dissonant keys.
Okay, my second question was, through your whole career, who's your favorite character that you've played?
Your favorite what?
Your favorite character
Character
that
that we
you
played?
played throughout your career.
I don't know. Well, you know, in careers as varied as ours have been, fortunately, I can't speak for you, but we've played so many varying different kinds of wonderful characters. I can honestly say, you know, they always get the cliche, they're your children, you don't have a favorite child. But it really is like that, you know. Certainly with the theater, because you give so much of your time and energy to creating a character in a piece, they become like a child of yours. Even when you're done, they still exist, so to speak. So for me, I have no favorite. You know, different experiences have brought different things with them, which has been great, but no favorite.
I can say, if only because it gave me the opportunity to sort of use everything in my toolbox. I was actually talking to a couple of people who came up to my table today. Tale of Two Cities, where I got to play 2 different characters with an English accent, and one, you know, they were totally diametrically opposed in terms of their physical, you know, the physical makeup and their motivations. And at the end, one of them gets to be one of the great noble characters in all of literature. So not so much favorite as much as proud of. The rest of them, I love all of them. Yeah. All them guys.
All them guys.
Thank you.
Don't leave. Where you go? No.
Hi, my name's also Alyssa. There's another Alyssa.
Hi.
The
Watch out.
Nightmare Before Christmas is starting to be used a lot more in the theme parks. How exciting is that now that you get to use works that will be immortalized forever? Well, not forever, but as long as they continue to use them in the Disney theme parks.
Well, it's very cool.
It's extremely cool.
I mean, I'm really proud of it.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you know, I mean, you think about the film, and then you think about the fact that, you know, and they're all over, I found it. A friend of mine sent me a thing from Hong Kong.
Really?
Hello, Hong
Jeez.
Kong. Get us, you know. But the idea is all over the Disney world, so to speak. Nightmare Before Christmas is now part of their language at a certain time of the year, which is pretty great, really. You know, you think about it, when we're mummy dust, they'll probably still be putting that stuff up, and we'll be talking.
Right.
Hopefully it'll be us.
I'll be going, hey, it's still up on, going on, huh? Okay. Throw some
It's
more
pretty
dirt
cool.
on me.
It's pretty cool, though. Yeah.
Great. We had some right back there. Yep.
What were you holding?
Show it to me.
Oh,
Oh, she's got a little bow.
very cool.
Thank you. My name is Jenna, and I was just wondering, when the film was all over with and you saw it for the very first time, what was your reaction to it?
I think we sort of addressed that earlier, and that is that it was just knocked me out. I mean, I was
Realizing
floored.
that it was something classic, not just a lovely film that was done and it's fun and so forth. But the artistic achievement was something that I knew, at least looking at it, that it was going to last forever. Yeah. I can say that, forever.
Yeah.
You know.
And in my mind, it's a particular tribute to obviously Tim Burton's original conception of the character, and then Henry Selick's realization of it, but also those animators and the people who designed the sets and the cost. You know, it was an extraordinary achievement by a large cohort of people
who seemed to be extraordinarily on the same page.
Yeah.
You know, they really seemed woven into each other's expertise well.
And also, since you didn't have to be around anybody else besides the director, did you wear your PJs into work?
I had to get off a plane and go to the studio, so I don't usually wear my PJs in a plane that often.
I wore some outfits that were pretty comfortable.
Oh, really?
They were. They weren't PJs, but you didn't have to be in front of anybody. You know what I mean? So
Right.
you didn't have to necessarily wear what you would wear if you were presenting yourself.
Actually, I worked with Catherine once. I did the Jack
What'd
and
you
Sally,
wear?
Sally scenes with. I wore tux. I'm kidding.
But you can be really comfortable. Is the real answer to what you're
You
asking.
need to be, yeah.
Yeah. House shoes, you know, bare feet.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Great. We've got. I saw. Oh, great. Yes, sorry. Go ahead.
Hi, I'm Lauren. You know, it's always been a popular film, but it kind of seems it's more on the rise again. Do you guys hope or know that there could be a possibly second movie, even featuring like the Easter or St. Patty's Day, any of the other holidays?
The only things that I've heard have been sort of little things online about the possibility that Disney's thinking of doing a live-action version of it, but I can't imagine a live-action version, first of all.
Yeah.
So, you know, I'm not going to throw my hat in that ring. Absolutely. And also, as Ken was saying, we both have continued involvement in the movie in a way. So to me, it still lives.
Yeah.
You know, and it lives in all of your imaginations every time you
It lives in
watch
your
it.
heart.
On your heart. And in your mind. And in your shoes as
In your
well.
shoe, it lives in your shoes. It really does live
Yeah,
in your shoes.
it's true. Yeah. And on your bodies. I've seen a lot of tattoos from you guys.
And also, you know, to me, something like Nightmare Before Christmas, not to say it couldn't happen or shouldn't happen or whatever, but it's singular. It's not just, well, let's just throw this up again. I mean, they could do it with virtual something they wouldn't even have to do, which is not the same thing. The achievement, in my estimation, artistically, is that it's exactly what it is, meaning the story and everything else that goes with it.
And the stop action.
The stop
just
action, for sure, you know.
That physical flow of those characters being literally 3D. You know, they're not they're not created on a computer. They were created literally moment by moment by moment, and you sense that when you watch it.
Have any of you ever seen it in 3D? Yes? It's really amazing. It's like it was made for 3D.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's like it takes you into the world even more so than seeing it in 2.
Yeah. Who's that?
My name is Alfred.
Hi.
First of all, I want to say, gentlemen, thank you for giving life to these two characters that have inspired not only me, but everyone in this room.
Thank you, Alfred.
And I wanted to let you know, as a cosplayer, I've done a lot of charity work. And during my work, I've played both characters, and I've done things like go to hospitals and different community events where I've done everything from work with children with cancer to elderly, and I just want to let you know it's an incredible experience for me to play this character and walk into like a cancer ward, and then to see the spirit come back into kids that are recovering from cancer.
Wow.
And you know, they've seen the movie while they were going through treatment, and here you are the same day that they've watched it, you know, in this little theater set up in the hospital. I walk in and it's just like Santa Claus and, you know, every rock star they've ever, you know, thought of just suddenly is there in the room with them. And so I just want to let you guys know that your legacy is also living on and allowing cosplayers and artists like me to use your all's image to bring positive change and to give back to our communities.
Great.
That's beautiful.
Great.
Thank you.
Great.
Got one back in the back here. Great.
She's getting
Good
her
hustle.
workout today.
Good hustle.
Hello, sorry. My name is Aiden.
Hi, Aiden.
I want to say first, before I get to my question, that you two are just a treat, and it's great to actually see you guys in person. I was wondering, since we've been talking about like other holidays, what holidays do you think both Jack and Oogie would be interested besides Christmas?
Days of the Dead. Yeah. I no, nor had I. It just exploded from my brain.
Because there is a lot of similarity, especially with Jack's face and all, to the, was it Day de la Muerte?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, the Day of the Dead.
You guys have seen Coco. I mean, that movie deals with it just, and when you watch Coco, sometimes I got little flashes of, yeah.
Very cool question.
Interesting question.
Yeah. Anybody else? Yes. Great. Right here.
So about like the logistics of voice acting, do you ever like experience vocal strain to where like you can't perform, or like go into the studio for a day? Like, is that an issue that you had to deal with?
I did a number of times just because there's a lot of screaming. Jack does a lot of screaming and a lot of yelling and a lot of stuff like that, falling and stuff. And there would be days when we would do stuff like that over and over and over again. And by the end of the day, I was shot, completely shot.
In the original recording sessions, because they would divide it up, so it wasn't so taxing. But doing some of the residual things I've done in the interim, I always ask them to record me in the morning, like after 9 or 10, but before 2 or 3, because my voice is lower then, and I don't warm up. Oddly, after vocal training for years, I don't warm up, and that allows me to use my voice at a different, up and down the scale in a different way without harming it. Because the more warmed up your voice gets, then you have to create that sound. And that's what becomes the wear and tear. And I will tell them, I'll say, well, I got about another half hour in me before it starts to be wear and tear. And they're pretty cool about it because they know, I think for both of us, to make the sounds you have to make is not in the normal range of vocal usage, so, yeah.
This was especially the case in Kingdom Hearts, because you have to make a lot of different sounds, reactive sounds, which is hard to do too.
Hi there, my name's Bobby. Quick question. It seems like there was several years between the release of the film and at least the first video game that I can think of where you guys had to resurrect those characters. And I've been told that when you get cast in a masterpiece film, that you don't really know it's a classic when you're making it until you get that call back and it's like, hey, can you come back and do this? For these characters in particular, can you go back to that time when you were like, okay, this one's on film, it's in the can, I can go on with my life doing these other roles, and then you get that call back and you're like, do I even remember how to do the voice? Or how am I preparing to go back to this role?
For me, whenever I get a call, like once or twice a year for something, at first it was ringtones, then it was Kingdom Hearts, then it was something else, I can't remember, then it was for the theme park. And for some reason, and I don't know about you, Ken, but I get into the studio and I sit down and I look at the script and I go, oh, he's back. And I open my mouth and somehow it happens. Don't ask me how.
First couple of times I had to go back, because it had been a while. I had to go back and look at the film, just so I wouldn't miss the nuances. I mean, it was in my head, and blah, 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 blah. But I wanted to make sure I didn't lose his vocal rhythm, which had kind of gone bye-bye by then, So it set me back on track. But that was really early on, and after then I've never had to, because we do it often enough, right?
Yeah. And also the people who write it have it in their heads. They have it in their ear. They know, how it's, the cadences, how they should sound, and so it helps.
Great. We still have time for a couple more questions.
You're not doing Jack or Oogie reading Shakespeare. You're doing something.
That's another thought.
Hold on.
Jack and Oogie
Wait a
doing
minute.
Shakespeare.
A face-off.
A face-off.
Yeah, the two of them, Jack
Hamlet.
and Oogie. Yes.
You know, a lot of it seems to have echoes of Hamlet, doesn't it? Jack, don't you think?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And Oogie would be who? I don't know,
Oh,
somebody,
yeah.
the king or somebody.
Yeah, let's keep these mics.
Yes, right.
And then,
Hi, my name's John. I was curious to know, since you did the audio first, was there anything that you did in studio that didn't get animated or brought to the screen?
Lots of stuff. I mean, again, as we said, you know, you do several takes of every line you do. So only one of them is in the film out of however many we might have recorded of that particular line times how many lines you have. So I'd say quite a bit of what we did didn't end up in the film. But the thrill for me, as I said, was actually seeing what they chose, you know. There were times when I would look and I would hear the take and I'd go, they chose that one? Wow, you know. And you'd think of something else you did that you thought was better. But I think in the overall direction, they were choosing between what made it flow as real dialogue and so forth.
yeah, and I don't think this was the case for us, but often with animated work, they will shoot the actors while they're doing the voice. And pattern the character's behavior, or at least physically, after what the actor did while he's on the mic, because it makes it more human for obvious reasons. Yeah, they didn't do that with us.
Well, they did actually do
They
it
did.
with me. I did. But I didn't know. I really didn't know until somewhere way down the line. It's something to do with the SAG Awards or something.
Yeah, sure.
And they were talking about voice actors. And I didn't see it. Friends of mine said,
Yeah,
they showed you on there. And I didn't know they had ever filmed it. After that, I asked a couple of questions and found out, yes, they did. There were things in the movie I thought, that looks really familiar. But I thought they just probably watched it and thought in their
So
mind.
maybe there was a secret camera.
I think there might have
And
been.
Jack might be on film somewhere.
I think so.
Start looking online.
We had some more in the back.
Hi, my name is Haven, and
Hi.
my question for you two is, I know that you said that you all basically were by yourselves in a room with just the director, but were there any times when you did become friends with the other cast members, or do you still even talk to them today?
Ken and I don't speak.
You know, it's a beautiful thing.
We have actually become better friends. We knew each other before.
But
My
we didn't
wife
work together at all on
My
the
wife did
film.
a show with Ken once.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's how I knew him. But
And, you know, now we see each other every so many weeks or so, which is great. Again, as I said, doing the concerts, I see Danny and I see Catherine and Paul Rubens and who else? I think that's all actually from the film. So I do get to see them periodically, you know, which is great. And here we are, so.
Hello.
Hello.
We had one right behind you, right behind you. There you go.
So Jack Skellington, how he did his plan about putting Christmas into Halloween. How smart do you think Jack Skellington was overall?
brilliant. Are you kidding? I mean, look at the blackboard that he, the formulas that he created, and I think that the vision that both Tim and Henry had for Jack was that he's a very highly imaginative character whose imagination takes him sometimes in the wrong places, but he's very creative in a lot of ways, and that's a kind of intelligence to me, anyway.
We have right down here. Thank you.
Hi, my name's Jake. Hey, question for you. Did you guys have any freedom with the roles, or was it very strict with the lines you had to do? Or were you able to actually add in your own flavor? And if you were able to, what was something you were actually able to add into it that wasn't initially in the scripts you were given?
I don't think we improvised anything. It was everything that was on paper is what we did. I mean, this was the script. But I think Ken addressed that
Well,
earlier.
it was interpretive, what we did with what we were given was the thing. But we had to do the lines because they had to tell a story, But I don't think there was anything where you kept going and made up stuff just to be adding things or talking. But the idea again of doing the lines that they gave us 10,000 different ways was tantamount to adding a line, because you could take hello, walk in the door and say it 50 different ways and it became different lines.
And they may have used some of the stuff that was, something they hadn't imagined that they ended up using because it was unique.
We have time for one more question. Let's get right down front here.
The couple of times that you did get to work with Tim Burton, how was that?
I spent 2 days with Tim in the studio doing what they call ADR, just basically, going over some of the lines and redoing them. And it was great. I mean, he couldn't have been nicer, first of all. Very helpful, very outgoing, in a way. He's a shy person, just naturally. But it was a lovely experience. I had a great time with Tim.
And I didn't actually meet Tim until the second opening. I think they did something. It wasn't the original opening. I didn't meet him then. I saw him somewhere in the interim, but not connected to the film. But the second opening, when they had the black carpet at the El Capitan and everything, I think it's when the album came out with all the people doing the Marilyn Manson and all those people doing it. And that's when I actually met him. I never worked with him on the film at all. No.
All right, so then I have one final question. Do you, either of you, have projects that you're currently working on that you were able to tell us about?
Well, as I said, I'm going to the UK.
He's
That's
already
coming
given
up.
you,
Yeah, that's coming up immediately. And then after that, I'm going to lay down.
That's a solid plan.
I'm
Relax
going
for
to
a
lay
while.
down and think about
Right.
Christmas. Yeah.
Right.
Think about Christmas.
And I am writing a memoir that I'm sort of mostly done with, but it's still sort of in the process of going out to publishers and what have you. That's been an extraordinary experience in a lot of ways, just talking about not only work and people that I've worked with, but also my life and where I came from and my family, and it's been an interesting experience. And maybe someday you'll pick it up and I'll sign it.
Any idea when we might expect that?
I have no idea. None.
Don't expect it yet.
In the future.